Every single person on YouTube who is monetizing their content is a scam artist. That's fact. Why? Why is that? And of course, no one's going to talk about this. Between 90 to 95% of all ads on YouTube are scams. Everybody knows that. Just about all the ads on YouTube are scams. So who doesn't know that? Right? So think about that. If you're monetizing your channel, you have formed a business partnership with not only YouTube, which is running a criminal operation in my opinion, they're partnering with scammers. If you're monetizing your channel, you've agreed to be a business partner with YouTube, and you've allowed YouTube to put any ads it wants to on your content. Any ads. Think about it. If you're monetizing your content on YouTube, you've formed a business relationship, a financial partnership with not only YouTube, but also the scamsters who are posting ads on your videos. That makes you a scammer. That makes you complicit in their scams. Let's think about this for a second. And this is a big issue. Let's think about this. Let's look at a extreme example, which don't think it can't happen again, because it will happen again. It's happened before and it will happen again. And I'm talking about FTX. If you're monetizing your channel, you're a scam artist and you're partnering with scammers. You formed a business partnership with scammers. And let's think about FTX. Think about all the YouTube scammers that endorsed FTX.
While we're on the topic of crypto, if you're looking for a place to buy, sell, track, or trade both crypto and NFTs all in one place with fees that are up to 85% lower than the top competitors, then FTX US is there to help. They're trusted by millions of users, and what I like the most about them is that they allow you to set up an automatic recurring buy so that you can dollar cost average into the markets on a regular basis. So if you're interested, the link is down below in the description with the code GRAHAM, and you could get all the way up to $100 for signing up depending on how much you trade. FTX US is there to help. They're trusted by millions of users. FTX US is there to help. They're trusted by millions of users. FTX US is there to help. They're trusted by millions of users, and what I like the most about them is that they allow you to set up an automatic recurring buy so that you can dollar cost average into the markets on a regular basis. So if you're interested, the link is down below in the description with the code GRAHAM, and you could get all the way up to $100 for signing up depending on how much you trade.
Number one, I was working strictly, solely with FTX US. That is not the company currently involved in liquidation proceedings. That's FTX.com. I have nothing to do with that company. I've never worked with them. I've never spoken to them. FTX US was the only company I work with, and they're 100% operational. You can buy, you can sell crypto, you can pull your money out, you can put your money in. Nothing is going on with FTX US. It's 100% absolutely fine. Number one, I was working strictly, solely with FTX US. That is not the company currently involved in liquidation proceedings. That's FTX.com. I have nothing to do with that company. I've never worked with them. I've never spoken to them. FTX US was the only company I work with, and they're 100% operational. You can buy, you can sell crypto, you can pull your money out, you can put your money in. Nothing is going on with FTX US. It's 100% absolutely fine.
These people that are fueling the scam artists, the fake investment gurus, they're the problem. This is a toxic, destructive platform that's melting your brain with disinformation, scams, and nonsense. But where throughout all this is the fake guru detective, the self-proclaimed fake guru detective? CoffeeZilla! Where is he? Folks, CoffeeZilla is a scammer. CoffeeZilla is a fraud. CoffeeZilla is a fraud. CoffeeZilla promotes scam artists. He's a liar. He doesn't expose anything or anyone who hasn't already been exposed or obvious. He won't go after the big scams, the less obvious scams. He won't go after the fake investment gurus on YouTube. You see, this is why he's become a gatekeeper now. It's why he's promoted by all these gatekeeping establishment individuals like Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman, because they don't want to be exposed. CoffeeZilla promoted Tom Nash as a legitimate investment expert, as a legitimate securities analyst. He built Tom Nash's channel. Think about this for a second. Without CoffeeZilla, Tom Nash wouldn't have an audience to defraud people pushing FTX, or to defraud and mislead people pitching his paid Patreon bullshit where he provides terrible investment recommendations. All right. I think that's a good introduction. So getting back to Andrew Henderson. Now, let me just explain. Most of these big scammers on YouTube, I knew they were scammers long ago. From day one, essentially, including Andrew Henderson. There's a long list of these guys. I don't have time for this nonsense but I knew this guy was a fraud 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago, actually. 15 years ago. Same thing with Brian Rose instantly. How? Folks, if you can detect the early warning signs, it's pretty obvious. Okay? Now, some things most of you probably can't detect. For instance, getting to Brian Rose, I knew the guy was a fraud from day one. He used to put on his bio how he was a big Wall Street trader and all this nonsense, and none of it made sense to me. I don't think his I think there's a lot of lies to his background, and probably not many of you would understand this. I think it would take a very well-experienced Wall Street professional that's been in the game a very long time, who's pretty intelligent, that's asking a lot, all those things, to understand Brian Rose's story was bullshit. What do I mean? Well, he claimed that he graduated MIT with an engineering degree, and he went to work on Wall Street. First and foremost, back then when he supposedly graduated from MIT, which, by the way, I don't believe that. Brian Rose is an airhead. He's a dummy. And so I don't believe that. Now, I'm an Ivy League graduate. I've got a graduate level degree in biological chemistry, biophysics. So, I probably have a good idea about what it takes, just kind of hearing a person speak. And I can tell you, Brian Rose, I think he's a pathological liar and a sociopath. And I saw that from the beginning. But the big thing, really, it told me was he was bragging. He was coming on telling you this and that, trying to kind of appeal to the low-hanging fruit. If you are very wealthy or very well educated, you don't come and use that to make yourself credible. What you do is you show the fucking bacon. You show the results. Okay, the results speak for themselves. People that hype up superficial things are almost always either frauds or they're just hot air. That's what I've noticed over the years. Now, I've never even talked about my Ivy League degree, ever. I've only recently mentioned that because I started to get defamed on YouTube when I exposed all these scammers who made up all types of claims. For instance, he didn't teach at biotechnology at SMU. Yeah, I fucking did. Any motherfucker out there who wants to put money on it, let's go. Let's fucking go. Okay? Let's go. Let's bet. Now, we're going to have to go through and subpoena the records at SMU because they don't have all the files. But you know what they do have? If you dig deep enough, they've got my social security number tied into payments in their system. Okay? So anyway, Brian Rose, and the big thing though, when I knew he was a fraud from, 15 years ago, more than that, when he first got on YouTube, was because his whole story about going from undergrad, graduation, engineer, MIT, onto Wall Street. Well, he didn't work on Wall Street. He worked at some little fucking regional bank, some little bullshit shop. Okay. So first of all, back then, Wall Street wasn't really recruiting guys with quantitative backgrounds. And I mean, engineering is, you could argue it's not really quantitative, at least in regards to what Wall Street's looking for. But anyway, I think it's fair enough to say it's enough. But an undergraduate degree in some type of a physical science or applied science like engineering, it's not really enough, I don't think, to get it for a quant to go on Wall Street. Okay, you got to have a graduate degree. Okay, if any of you all even know what I'm talking about. So they weren't doing that. Wall Street wasn't doing that 35 years ago. Okay, number one. Number two, if they're going to do that, they're not going to go after some undergrad guy. Number three, if they're going to do that, why didn't he work with a big bank? He didn't work with a major bank. So I knew from the beginning the guy was a bold-faced liar. Likewise, Patrick Bet-David came out with the same bullshit bio. See, the thing about ScamTube, it's great for scammers because they can always change everything. You see, there's no Wayback Machine on YouTube. They can change their bio. They can change their description. You understand? And Patrick Bet-David, early on, and I probably have it in my hundreds and hundreds of terabytes of data files somewhere, copied. Patrick Bet-David, I remember specifically, he marketed himself as a former Wall Street guy. That's right. That's right. He told everyone he was an ex-Wall Street guy. And I'm like, wait a second. This guy's an idiot. I mean, there's a lot of dumb people on Wall Street, but this guy's too fucking stupid. I looked into it, and I could tell he didn't know anything about the capital markets. And I looked into it more, and it was clear he was never working on Wall Street. In fact, I think he's even come out a few times in the past and told people he worked at Morgan Stanley, which is bullshit. So I knew instantly Patrick Bet-David, another guy who wants to impress people, right? They come out instantly, I did this, and I did this, and I did that, oh, look at me. Because they know the low-hanging fruit. I mean, YouTube is the low-hanging fruit. That's the reality, okay? It's the dumbest people on earth. That's YouTube. That's a fact, okay? And you listen to somebody who's been observing YouTube, who's been studying YouTube since the beginning, since 2006, okay? I know it very well. I stayed away from it all this time. I don't, credible people don't align themselves with horseshit or horseshit people. I have an image to maintain, you understand? Likewise, con artists, scam artists, form syndicates. They stick together. They unite. You understand? And I've been telling you guys now for quite a long time, I've been putting down the golden rules of spotting con artists. If you want to identify the army of scammers, first identify one and then watch who he hangs with. Okay? Look who he hangs, because they hang around together. Now, there's different little genres and subgenres of scammers, and so you're not going to always see a complete overlap. But over time, these different genres will gradually come closer and closer together. Okay, so I'm going to emphasize that again today. I'm going to talk about that again today and show you with Andrew Henderson's case and Patrick Bet-David's case. And it just so turns out that both of these guys have gotten together. Okay. Now, I've talked about this before. Patrick Bet-David. First of all, it's probably not his real name. And you can imagine, I've already exposed what tribe of people he belongs to. Now, he's going to tell you he's from Iran. Okay, you're from Iran. It means nothing. It means nothing. Are you a former Iranian citizen? Well, if you're from Iran, you are. But that doesn't really tell us the true tribe that you're from. Okay? You all can probably guess. Same with Andrew Henderson. And once again, think about it carefully. Why is it seem like all these scammers, seems like just about every single one of them is from the same group of people, this small minority of people? What's going on? Okay, there's several reasons for that. One of the reasons, of course, is that they like to hang together and they build a little network. But, obviously, certain types of people have certain inclinations to do certain types of activities. Let's say, there's the Wall Street guys who like to do their activities, right? Like the savings and loan crisis in the late 70s, right? Early 80s or so. The financial crisis, right? So on and so forth. And there's our media friends who are constantly scamming people on a daily basis with their business model, their advertisement-based business model, which is a complete scam. Did a stream on this fraudster back in, I think it was the beginning of June, and I made the claim that he's being sued. And turns out somebody has actually run with that and has gone through and actually has gone to the details. Well, I wasn't going to do that. I don't need to look up. I know the guy's being sued. Why do you think he renounced his citizenship? That's what I talked about. He renounced his citizenship to the U.S. to avoid lawsuits because he's a fraud. He's a scammer, you see. And I knew this guy was a scammer from day one. Why? Because I knew the whole gold pumping scam syndicate. I'm the guy, the number one authority in the world that's exposed it all, starting back from, 16 years ago, probably. Okay. And this guy, Andrew Henderson, Nomad capitalist, he aligned himself with that audience. So when somebody aligns themselves with a known kind of scam narrative, they're in on the gravy train. They want to get on that gravy train. Okay. Just like these perennial career con men like Robert Kiyosaki. Career con men like Robert Kiyosaki, they're always going to find their way to get involved in the latest, greatest hype, the latest, greatest scam. Okay? So, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was gold. Robert Kiyosaki, he got involved a little bit late on that. He got involved 10 years ago with gold. More recently, it's been cryptocurrency. Robert Kiyosaki, all of a sudden, he's into cryptocurrency. So just like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was into cryptocurrency too. You all know that, right? I talked about this, or at least I made a video maybe on my website about how Tony Robbins was getting in. He was getting ready to launch cryptocurrency training in education. That's right. And it just so happened that a lot of these blow-ups happened right before he did it. So I think he stopped right then. Okay. So all these scammers, they're always getting in on what the latest, greatest hype is. Why? Because, folks, they want to target the largest pool of people, the largest audience of suckers. You understand? That's why. So wherever the hype is, that's where they're going. Same thing with a similar huckster like Andrew Henderson. His name is Jeff Berwick. Jeff Berwick, you might know the name. This is a guy back from 15, 17 years ago. He was back in the gold pumping scam when cryptocurrency started to get more notice. He was all over that as well. Jeff Berwick actually was a guy that was in this second passport scam before Andrew Henderson. I exposed this guy 15 years ago. Jeff Berwick, look up the name. Berwick. He's another fraudster. I mean, Jeff Berwick is a absolute sociopath, and I mean, pathological liars that undermines what he is. They need to come up with a different word to describe the type of lies that come out of this guy's mouth. He's a sociopath. He's a druggie, pothead. He's a complete loser and fraud. And he also defrauded people with his little passport scams many years ago. He's since kind of pushed that aside. And Andrew Henderson got involved with that. And you might want to look up Jeff Berwick. He's the guy that's kind of, he called himself an anarcho-capitalist. And he started this little anarcho-capitalist summit every year, right, in Acapulco, where he lives. He tried to sell people real estate projects. in Chile. And of course, that was a big blow up with this libertarian movement that they had there. I don't know if you guys know anything about this stuff. You could look it all up. I mean, I've exposed all this shit a long time ago. My point is that I'm very familiar with all these little movements and these scams and narratives. And if you're familiar with these things, then you can easily see who's trying to tap into that. Because these scams have not gone away. The gold pumping scam hasn't gone away. The libertarian scam hasn't gone away. And of course, there's a lot of similarities there. This is where Andrew Henderson fits in. He fits into the whole, the gold pumping narrative is basically the U.S. is bad. The U.S. economy is bad. Stock market's going to collapse. Get out of the U.S. It's terrible. Every country's better than the U.S. Complete horseshit. Okay? But there's people that believe this nonsense. The same people that believe Peter Schiff and his horseshit. Okay? So I knew Andrew Henderson was a fraud from day one. From day fucking one. Let's take a look at his channel now. And by the way, let me just remind everyone, another golden rule, whenever you see somebody promote their media appearances, they're a scammer. Write it the motherfucker down. TEDx is a scam. Anybody can pay to get into TEDx talk. I already talked about that a long time ago. Okay. Write it down. Anybody promoting their media appearances, they're saying, I'm a nobody. I got nothing but hot air. But look, the media, I was in the media, so I must be legitimate. Okay? Write it the fuck down. It's a rule. It's my rule. And I'm the big swinging dick of exposing frauds and fraudsters. Okay? So let's take a look here. We'll get back to these here in a second. Let's take a look at this guy's channel. Oldest videos. See, like 11 years back. So you can see how to make $1 million. How one Cambodia entrepreneur, I mean, just horseshit. Cambodia? Okay. And then this really sealed the deal here when he started promoting, actually, yeah. I think that he's actually had some other videos he's removed or he's hidden. But anyway, you can see he's promoted Peter Schiff early on. That tells you right there. Freedom and opportunity offshore. So you see, these guys that promote the gold pumping nonsense, the libertarians, the whole get out of the dollar, get out of the stock market, buy gold. Freedom, liberty, gold. You understand? The same talking heads, Glenn Beck, Ben Shapiro, these fucking scam artists. Freedom, liberty, gold. Folks, you want to make money with gold? You become a gold dealer. Okay, you're always going to win. Always going to win. Okay? You want to lose money? Buy gold instead of the stock market. Okay? In fact, let me go ahead and I should show this actually to everybody. And now, I have an outstanding track record of forecasting gold prices, which, by the way, gold prices are there's no way that you can legitimately put a price target on gold. It's a guess. Okay. Anyone who says otherwise, like, where do you get that price from? If someone asks me, I'm gonna say some things. It's not going to be anything concrete. It's going to be based upon certain things but it's going to be a guess based upon what I believe, because that's all gold is based on. It's psychology. But my track record of forecasting gold over the past 16, 17 plus years is probably over 85% accuracy. Okay. So, gold is something that goes up and it goes down. It's not something you buy and hold, because sometimes you're going to buy gold and it could face a big collapse. You could be waiting there for 20 years and it does jack shit and you're down 40, 50, 60%. In fact, that's exactly what happened back in 1980. If you'll recall, you may want to take a look at that chart. Okay. So gold is, it's if you want to buy gold, you better have an exit strategy and you don't buy physical gold. Okay. You avoid that. And you got to be aware that you got to have an exit strategy, okay? But as a pure investment, I don't recommend gold as a part of anyone's portfolio, okay? At most, I would recommend a blue chip only during certain periods, as I have a few months ago, Newmont Mining in the low 30s. Okay. And, it's getting closer now to what, it's Newmont's 52 now. It's getting there's a little more upside on that. But after that, it's a cyclical stock. It's a mining stock. You understand, folks. So you know when to buy and you know when to sell. You don't hold the shit. At least Newmont Mining pays a dividend too. You ain't going to get no dividend with gold. So let me just show you something here. I just to let you know, it's not like I've never done any gold and silver forecasting, because I do that, but it is risky, and you have to kind of know what you're doing. But see, the problem is people in the whole gold and silver market, they just want to pump it. They're just pumpers, because it's all about feeding the dealers. They don't want you to buy the ETFs and trade them, trade the volatility. Volatility is the beauty of gold and silver. That's the beauty of those instruments, is they have a lot of volatility. You can trade that volatility, and you can lower your risk, and you can boost your liquidity. If you're not trading it, you're a fucking knucklehead. But you see, it's all about making sure they tell you that the ETFs aren't backed by gold, and just buy the physical, because of course, this is the whole industry's pumped by the gold dealers. The gold dealers are paying for all this disinformation that you're hearing about. Okay? You understand? All these guys with the gold channels, who do you think they're being sponsored by? You understand? I mean, I exposed all this shit, 15, 16, 17 years ago for many years. Let me see here. I don't think I have it here. Oh, wait a second. I do have it. I'm going to show you guys. Bear with me a second here, because I didn't prepare for this or anything. I just pulled up some sites, but I didn't. I want to show you guys. Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to waste time. I was going to show you all a chart that explains why gold is not an investment. It's basically a chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and you can plot that chart. Dow Jones Industrial Average versus gold, since the conspiracy wackos that support gold with all their mythology and wild conspiracy theories, since the Federal Reserve was created, right? Go back then, in fact, I'm going to pull up a chart here I got just now. This is not my chart, but I'm going to just pull one up from online. And okay. So here you go. So this is back to, what is this? Okay, not quite. I guess the Fed was 1913 or something. It's close, you can see, right? 1915. Gold was 19 bucks. It's 2000. Obviously it's been in a bull market for a while, but it's not going to stay there in a bull market. So it's like, let's give it 2,400 bucks. This is just through May. It's coming at the end of August. It's like close to 2,500. Okay, but let's take a look now. This is not inflation adjusted. Okay, take a look at what else do they have here. Let's stick with the same website here. The Dow. Okay, the Dow. Let's take a look at the chart of the Dow. And you can just see so take a look first of all, so you can just see the same period. It was 55 and now it is what, 45,000, right? So gold was 19, it's 2,500. Back then, same period, gold was 55 and it's 44,000. Okay, and by the way, this does not factor in dividends, nor obviously the impact of compounding the dividends if you're reinvesting. Gold pays zero dividends. So first thing you're going to notice, long term, Which chart is less volatile? The Dow. And that's very important. Why? Right? It's very important why. We'll go back to the gold chart here and we'll see. Because if you time gold wrong, if you're timing it wrong, you can get fucked. You're fucked your whole life in some cases, depending upon your age, right? Remove inflation, start inflation adjust. Let's take a look. If you bought it here at the peak in 80, I think it was like, it doesn't show it here, but I think it was a little above $800. What happened? Well, this is basically when Doug Casey came on TV, told everybody to put 40% of their net worth in gold, and it collapsed 40% within 2 months, 3 months, and then as low as 60%, I believe, or 70%. You can see. So 1980 collapses all the way down from 800 to 300 and makes it slow, 265. And this is after this, it made this move. This is when it broke out for a bull run. But my point is that think about this. You're in gold for 20 years if you timed it wrong. 20 years and you're down probably 80%. Okay? Are you going to be holding your gold that whole time? No dividends, nothing. 20 years, you don't know what's going on, and then you're waiting another 24 years, and it's back. You're only down by 50%. You don't know. You maybe think this is the time to sell. It's going to go back down, right? You understand what I'm saying? Gold will go through another period like this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will. There's no doubt about it. Because why? Because it's a commodity. Okay? It's a commodity. You see? But the point is that people that pump gold, pushing gold, the money behind that is coming from the gold dealers. Okay? Andrew Henderson, he aligned himself with this whole crowd, as did Robert Kiyosaki and many other charlatans. Okay? Freedom, liberty, buy gold. So when I saw this, Peter Schiff, and this is the definite confirmed scam detector. He's promoting Kevin Trudeau. Kevin Trudeau? I mean, are you kidding me? And then, and then you're going to see what else? You're going to see the typical Mark Faber, Jim Rogers. So this is why it's important to be able to identify these people and what they're doing. You understand? The more of these people you can identify, the easier it becomes to see what the fuck is going on. Okay? And I've already exposed these guys before. Mark Faber, Jim Rogers. I mean, they're, especially Jim Rogers, absolute fucking scammer. He makes all his money blabbering through media appearances. So you could just go through. Let's go and take a look here. Let me just to prove what I'm saying. Robert Kiyosaki, is going to be here. So he wants to rub shoulders with Robert Kiyosaki. Why? Because they get in a little partnership. You see, he gets their subscribers, and Kiyosaki gets his. And they're all stupid people. They're all low-hanging fruit. So they get to share. Remember that video? If you didn't see the video series I did, the 3-part series on the dark web of internet marketing scams, where I showed that one clip from the syndicate where Kearns is saying, we share each other's customers. We're not competing. We're going to share them all. You see, there's no competition between scammers. Because they're going to buy Robert Kiyosaki's scam books and his scam board games and everything else. They're also going to maybe engage in go to this Nomad Scam Artist Summit, his little annual summit, which, of course, I guarantee you Robert Kiyosaki's been there. It's a cult, folks. Okay? It's a fucking cult. You understand? Total cult. So once you buy into that whole mentality, you're fucked. You're completely fucked for life. You got it? You understand? That's why it's critical to spot and expose these scammers, because we're talking about cult formation here. Whether it's believing the whole horse shit coming out of Peter Schiff's mouth, it's a cult. People that follow him, it's a cult. Okay? Or Patrick Bet-David. They're all fucking cult leaders. You understand that, right? The simplest of people on YouTube. In fact, I'm not going to show it now. I will show it probably in the future. I ran across this gentleman recently, one of these guys who, these travel vloggers, and he was basically telling people, he's a nice guy. I think he's a decent guy, but it's a great example. I can see him becoming a fake investment guru. This is what happens. And I explained to him in a very long comment, very long. I took the time to write it out. And I said, listen, and I explained to him why. So his whole idea was, how to leave the West. You can leave the West if you got enough money. You don't need a whole lot. Just invest. I'm going to show you how you can invest and leave the West. And he was basically saying, I do this by dividend investing. And my goal is to generate $24,000 in dividend income every year. And I have more than enough to live in, overseas. That's what he's saying. And so he begins to, because he's doing a lot of videos. And what he does is that at one point, he starts actually giving examples of companies that he owns. And I'm like, dude, I had to stop and I had to correct him. I said, listen, you don't know what you're doing. And I explained to him that he can't beat the market. He can't pick stocks and win. He's much better off if he just buys the S&P and holds it. You see, he wants that income now. So he's going to pick the high income, the high dividend yield stocks, you see, and other types of funds. But the fact is that over the long term, they're not going to outperform the S&P, you see. So I explained to him he can get 2% yield, 2% dividends in the S&P, and the remainder he can just slice, he can trim off the top of the S&P when he needs cash. You see, over the long run, he's going to do much better. For him to think that he can he can pick stocks and beat other, he can't do it. And I showed him, for example, I said, look, the stocks you picked are cyclical stocks. He's in all these energy stocks and mining stocks, these cyclical. I said, listen, we've had a good few years recently because we had high inflation and we had the energy crisis, but these stocks are going to collapse. Okay. What you should be, if you want a dividend stock, you should get true dividend stocks are not, a true dividend stock is not some kind of run-of-the-mill oil company, okay? A true dividend stock is a blue chip. If you want an oil company, you buy fucking Exxon. Even still, though, I don't own Exxon anymore. I sold mine. I'm out. Why? I don't want to buy it at this level. You understand? Because Exxon is cyclical. Even Exxon. Chevron, same thing. You see? So, a true dividend stock is a stock that's able to grow its dividends. To grow its dividends and actually to grow its earnings. The ultimate dividend stocks, the best absolute dividend stocks out there, aren't going to be the highest paying dividend stocks. You know why? Because they don't want to pay out too much of their earnings to the shareholders as cash. Why? Because they're still growing they still have strong growth. So they want to reinvest a good amount of those earnings back into the company so they can experience capital appreciation. So they're growth and income stocks. One of the best examples probably in the entire stock market, it's not that way anymore just because of the restructuring, is Johnson & Johnson. One of the best stocks you could ever own for long term because of growth and income. Excellent dividends, excellent dividend growth, excellent capital appreciation. Okay, you can just take a look at the long-term chart of Johnson & Johnson. Now, going forward, Johnson & Johnson may not be quite as good because they spun off their consumer healthcare division into Kenvue. All their super brands, Aveeno, Johnson & Johnson, Q-tips, what else? Listerine, just dozens and dozens of super brands that they've got. That's another company now. So that they don't have that stable cash flow that they could use to provide dividends to weather the storm during recession as much. Now they're more strictly a medical device and drug maker, you see. So the dynamics are going to be a little bit different, but they're still a great company. Another great example for a true dividend stock that you want for the long term is Procter & Gamble. Okay. But to be buying mining stocks and shit like that, that's like, dude, that's cyclical. You're not going to get good capital appreciation over the long term because of the business dynamics, the way it is. So anyway, I might go over this guy in the future. He's a nice guy. He seemed like a decent guy. He's just trying to, help people. But I mean, I could kind of see him becoming a fake investment guru because some of these people don't plan on it. What happens is that he's trying to, share his story with people and this and that. And of course, I'm sure he's trying to make some income as well. I mean, if you're only getting 24 grand a year to live on, YouTube is going to be one of your sources of income for sure. But what happens typically is, people that had no idea they were going to be doing this, people say, hey, wow, this is really good. You should do more on investing. And then before you know it, he's got a Patreon. I mean, look at my investment stuff. You see, this is how it snowballs, folks. Okay. So anyway, getting back to Nomad Capitalist, Andrew Henderson, the fraud. And so let's take a look here. Let me see if we got a bigger picture of him. There's another picture of him. I don't know why he's got this one suit. This is like a $100 suit, by the way. It's pretty obvious, FYI. Just show you. But let's get back to showing you here. So go where you're treated best. Well, let me explain something. I have been living overseas about as long as this guy, if not longer. I'm a world-class authority in the investment world. I think I probably know a little bit more than him about all this stuff he talks about. In fact, I know a shitload more about things that he talks about, because what this guy talks about, he claims to give you tax strategies, investment strategies. He doesn't know jack fucking shit. He's just a hot air, fast-talking con man. He wants to suck you in with his bullshit. And let me just say one thing right now before I continue. I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again if I remember. Anybody out there, okay, if you want to leave your country and go to another country, if you need to go to somebody to help you in that process, you're an idiot. You're not going to survive. Don't fucking leave your country. If you think you're going to go to some other country and you need somebody to fucking hold your hand and show you how to do it, you're not going to fucking survive. Stay where the fuck you are, okay? You got it? Because it's pretty fucking easy. This guy doesn't know anything more than a simple Google search. The same thing you can do. I don't even keep up with this stuff, but I can tell you right now, it's pretty obvious what's going on out there. They've got the golden visa programs, and this stuff changes. Portugal has changed theirs a little bit. You've got one in Portugal. You buy a property for, I don't know, 200,000 euros, 250. Just look it up. It's not a big fucking deal. Greece has one for 250 euros. The Malaysia second home program, I think it's $400,000, $450 or something like that. I mean, these aren't citizenship cards. They're basically long-term visas, 10-year visas in some cases. You can renew them, so on and so forth. But actually getting citizenship, folks, just look it up. It's cut and dry. Do you think people normal people that don't have mental disease, you think those who want another citizenship, they're going to this guy? Oh, we target people with 6 feet. Yeah, you target people with a lot of money so you can fucking take it from them. You're dealing with a kid who doesn't have any real professional experience or training with this stuff. If you're going to go, if you're such a spineless moron that you need to go to somebody, okay, because everything is online. You need to go to somebody, and listen, at least if you're going to go to somebody, go to someone in that fucking country, a local, a native, who has some type of professional degree, like an attorney in that country. Don't go to some fucking middleman on YouTube. Folks, no legitimate business is on YouTube. Do you understand that? No legitimate business. They're all scams to a variable degree. Legitimate people, legitimate businesses aren't on fucking YouTube. You understand that? I've been saying this for years. That's a fucking fact. Okay? It's a fucking fact. Scammers are on YouTube because it's the lowest hanging fruit. Oh, no. Legitimate attorneys aren't on YouTube. They're on YouTube because they don't have any business going on. So they're going to try and get your ass. Got it? It's just a fact. I know attorneys. I know successful. They're not going to go on YouTube. What? First of all, you will never have a chance to become a successful, credible attorney if you're on YouTube. You're done. Once you're on YouTube, you're fucking done for you've restricted yourself to the fucking fringe market. You will never be taken seriously. But they don't have anything to lose because they don't have any real business. Same thing with any other type of professional designation. Okay? That's just a fact. So this guy doesn't have a law degree. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any expertise. Why would anybody go to this guy? Because they're stupid. Whoa, I see him on videos. He's wearing a suit. You fucking dummies. And you need to be fucking told that. If you fell for this guy, you need some fucking hard medicine. Okay, you got it? You're a fucking dummy. You're a dummy. Fix yourself. Okay. Go where you're treated best. Well, I'll tell you what, okay? If you actually think, if you're from the Western world, the whole thing, folks, who do you think is listening to this fucking fraud? Do you think people from South America are listening to him wanting to go to America or Europe or Canada? Of course not. This is targeted towards people in advanced countries who have tremendous advantages, tremendous things going for them. This is targeted to them, trying to convince them to go to, in many cases, third world shitholes, banana republics, countries where if you say anything bad about the officials, you go to jail. Countries where if you're a reporter and you report the news on politicians, you get your head fucking chopped off. That's what happens in Latin America, in case you didn't know that. Okay? In case you didn't know that, write it down. Okay? The journalists in Latin America, it's a very risky job to have. Okay? In Asia, they're a little nicer about it. Usually they'll just fucking lock you up and throw away the key. Okay? So, go where you're treated best. Well, I think a country where you're treated best is going to be a country where you have more rights and freedoms, and you have more rule of law, and you have a fairer opportunity. Okay? That's where you're treated best. You see? So this guy wants to tell you to move from America, move from Canada, move from Europe, move from the greatest countries that offer the best economic opportunities and the best higher education, the greatest freedoms and liberties, right? He wants to tell you to go to countries that are shitholes. He's telling you to go to Argentina. Oh, okay, and the economy's fucking hyperinflation, right? That's right. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing that Peter Schiff was doing, telling people to go to Puerto Rico. It's the whole clan. You understand what I'm talking about. Doug Casey, this guy's in bed with Doug Casey's. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Kiyosaki, okay? Right? Kiyosaki's advice for leaving the U.S. You see that? Kiyosaki would never leave the U.S. He can't scam the people that he's scamming elsewhere. But what he does do, he's got his fucking disinfo books all over the world. I've seen them. So does Tony Robbins. Let's see Doug Casey. If you don't know Doug Casey, you can look up this career con man. Guaranteed he's with him. I know for a fact. You see, complete fraudster, bullshit artist. Okay, there you have it. So he wants to align himself with these charlatans. Peter Schiff is here. I just showed you that. Who else? Jim Rogers is going to be here. So some of you, if you don't even know the relevance of these people, you don't know that they're fucking con artists, and just complete disinformation. You're way behind the fucking curve. This is what I'm talking about. The more you learn about these scammers and their pitches, their motivations, their means, the more you're going to easily be able to spot what's going on. Okay. And then, of course, we've got I showed you before. I don't know if it's on this channel, but Felix and Friends, you know, the fraudster, the failed wine exporter. He had this Andrew Henderson on his channel. He's probably not on this one. I'd say not. Oh, he is. Look, the winning strategy for investing is so you notice how he's getting involved in this shit now. You see that? Reed Kirschenbauer. That last name is not surprising to see being aligned with Mr. Henderson, by the way, FYI. You see that? And now let's take a look at Patrick David, right? There you go, right? Where to move to escape World War III. Think of so. I don't need to watch the video. I already know the fucking narrative. I know the plot. So think about this for a second, just to tell you how much of a fraud this guy is and how stupid you are if you fell for this guy. Because listen, folks, I mean, it's the worst. Worse than being stupid is remaining stupid. Okay. As long as you realize that you're stupid and you do something about it as much as you can, that's good. That's good. So think about this for a second. World War III. Well, if there's a World War III, what country do you think is going to be the safest? It sure as hell ain't going to be China. It sure as hell ain't going to be Russia. And it sure as hell isn't going to be in Asia. Okay? The safest country is going to be America. Why? Well, what's the most powerful country out there? Right? So the guy's obviously a fraud. It's the same shit he's telling you about the US dollar. These guys telling you the dollar is going to zero, it's going to collapse, buy gold. You understand. The same horse shit that nobody's calling out. And think about this for a second. All these guys who interview Henderson, you go to their channels and you tell them that they are promoting this guy's fraudulent ideas, and that makes him a fraud. Okay? Trust me. Anybody who interviews this guy, they're pulling the same shit. Maybe not the same exact pitch, but they're trying to deceive people. Okay? Same thing with Patrick Bet David. Let's take a look now. Let me show you some other things here. So he has this live event every year, September 28th. Okay? Second citizenship. Folks, if you want a second citizenship, it's quite fucking easy and simple. There's a few places that offer it. You don't need this fucking guy. This guy, he sells a lot of hot. It's kind of like those it's kind of like those flashy websites that don't have any content in them. They're like all flashy, you know, and the front page is flashy, but there's nothing there really. There's no content there. So they can use it. They can code them in a language that is not that functional. But, oh, wow, look at that. It really looks like a professional website. Wow, it's all flashy. You understand. It's all flash. In Texas, they say, what is it? All hat, no show, right? This guy, he's flashy, hot air bullshit. He doesn't know anything. And the things that he talks about are either obvious or, and mostly, he embellishes things. He lies about things. I don't pay any taxes. No, either you're a liar or you're dodging the law. Okay? You're a liar or you're dodging the law. Okay? I can assure you of that, folks. But see, he wants you to make you think like he's got the secrets. No, you don't. And this is where he comes in and tries to snaggle $50,000 from you. Gradually. That's why he's in a lawsuit right now. This is why he left the U.S. Because people, not just one, many people are coming after this motherfucking prick. Think about this for a second, folks. By the way, let's take a look here on ScamTube. Let's take a look. So I want to show you this typical video here, just to give you an idea about ScamTube.
You hate him?
Okay. This fast talking, look at this guy. I mean, listen, you know, folks, I don't think it's a coincidence. Most of these people I've showed you, the face, you can judge the face. It's very telling. But take a look at this guy. But let me show you now. So YouTube, report. Let's take a look at the reporting options. What does YouTube have? Oh shit, okay, I have to sign. Let me go to my, I'm signed in. I want to show you guys. Patrick, let's see, Nomad Capitalist. Okay. I want to show you guys something. Just to Georgia. Yeah, he's telling people to move to Georgia now. I mean, folks, if honestly, you don't have a brain that's functioning if you don't see this guy as a scammer wearing the same fucking, this is $100 suit at most. In fact, it's probably a $50 suit. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean,
we're here in Tbilisi, Georgia.
You see this suit? Look at this. This is a very cheap ass suit. Okay. Now, he lives in these countries where you can get a suit tailored for a very inexpensive price, as low as $50. It might be a $50 suit. Okay. I mean, I know I have suits that are tailored. You can get them, you know, they're not cheap if you get a good suit, but they're certainly cheaper than you could get a tailored suit in America. I mean, if you got a tailored suit in America with nice, you know, a nice Italian wool, it's going to probably cost you at least $3,000 or $4,000, probably even more. Actually, I would say probably about $5,000 or $6,000 actually. Okay, just my guess, because you know, I mean, you can't get anything even. How do you get anything hemmed there even? So, but if you're in Asia or some developing country, you can get a nice suit with nice fabric anywhere from $500 to $1,000, depending upon the fabric. If you're going to get a suit tailored, you don't want cheap fucking material, okay? You want to get some good material. And I can tell you right now, these are the type of suits they sell, the Indian tailors sell in the streets of Pattaya on the beach as you're walking on the boardwalk. These are like, they'll tell you, you know, 2,000 baht, maybe 3,000 baht. This is a two-piece suit, so it's probably 2,000 baht, which is about, I don't know, $70. So now someone will say, well, what's that matter? Well, think about this for a second. This is a guy who wants to give you this image, right? Like he's some I don't know, some wealthy guy, some guy that knows what's going on. If you're gonna wear a fucking suit, you wear a goddamn good suit, right? You understand? It just shows you that this guy is he's even a poor fake guy. He's not even a good fake. I mean, I got plenty of suits. I don't want to wear any suits. I will never wear a suit unless I have to. Why is he wearing a suit? Because he wants to show you the credibility, just like this guy. What's his name? This Winston Stencil guy. This fucking fraud. Anyone who wears a suit who doesn't need to, you know, Patrick Boyle, he's in his little fucking home. He's wearing a suit, right? It's basically screaming, I'm a scammer. Okay. And notice, by the way, the hands. You see that? People that go to these professional speaking conferences because they want to, you know, they want to con people. They want to swindle people. They hold their hands this way. FYI. Anyway, let me show you something I originally wanted to show you about ScamTube. Okay, take a look at everything that you can report. Sexual content, violent or repulsive content, hateful, abuseful, harassment, bullying, harmful, dangerous, misinformation, child abuse, promotes terrorism, spam, misleading, illegal. How about scams? There's nowhere to report scams. You know why? Think about it. YouTube doesn't have any interest in taking down scams. Think about all the scams on YouTube, from the most obvious, blatant scams, right, to the least obvious ones that I've opened your eyes up to, perhaps. There's no reporting option for scams because think about it. YouTube's business model is based mostly on promoting scams and scam artists. You see? So this video, these guys, his channel, the ads are going to pop up for gold and for other types of things related to what he's doing. Let me get back now. This is a letter from apparently a former employee who doesn't want to spill the beans too detailed because he's afraid he'll get sued because he signed an NDA. It's kind of interesting. This is what happened in Georgia. apparently what happened, I think he had to leave Georgia because the heat, the officials were on Henderson. This is why he moved back now. You'll notice he's back in Georgia after, I don't know, 8 years. You understand? If you look into what happened in Georgia, okay? Anyway, so you can see here his site. Meet the team. Let's take a look at the team. So he's changed the team look a little bit, and I leave it to you. I leave it to you, by the way. Take a look at some of these faces and tell me, I mean, ask yourself, do they look honest? Just FYI. But I'm going to show you something here a little bit later, because I actually saved some of his stuff from a few years ago. And he's got his Malaysian conference in 2024. There you go. You see that? Let me show you here. So this is what these guys do. Patrick Bet-David did the same thing. Get somebody to write a fucking book for you. Okay? Pay a ghostwriter. And you pay for fake reviews. You see? You pay for fake reviews. So what do? Any book, and let me show you for a second here, just to give you an idea. Any book that's got a lot of exposure, and in this case, I mean, take a look. 2,400 ratings means it's got a lot of exposure, right? I mean, this many ratings, right? Okay, this means, okay, what's going on? Take a look at the 1-star reviews. That's how you tell what a book is really all about. 1 and 2-star reviews, okay? And so you can see, useless filler information aimed to attempt to get you to pay for his services, okay? If you're looking to read a bag piece about how someone beat the system for 200 pages while not telling you how to do it, then look no further. Of course he can't tell you how to do it because he didn't beat the system and he didn't do anything. It's all a scam to get you to believe this, and then you send him money through Western Union or some other means that you can't get a refund, and you're fucked. That's the whole deal. He's selling an illusion, a lie, you see. A long-winded sales pitch that lacks substance. Just read the review. As strongly predicted, the book is an upsell. It's an advertisement of Andrew's service. And he goes on. Okay. So it gets worse than that, folks. Why? Because I can guarantee you these reviews are fake. These 5-star reviews are fake. And you can take a look, just like I did with Patrick Bet-David. I did a video on him a few years ago showing Patrick Bet-David already had like 4,000, 5,000 reviews within days of his book being released. How is that possible? Right? Patrick Bet-David paid for fake reviews, and he got his multi-level marketing fucking PHP cult to also put in fake reviews. This guy paid fake reviews. How you can tell? Well, take a look at the publication date. August 31st, 2021. Just go through when you get time and take a look at the date of the reviews, and then take a look and see people, how many reviews they have and how many reviews they had before they reviewed this book. Take a look. Reviewed on October 8th, 2020. I guess. Oh, okay. So he I guess it's another edition, another version. Okay. Look at this. He puts in an international tax law. I mean, he doesn't even have a fucking accounting degree. I mean, what? You see, this is a fraud, man. It's a complete fraud. So what this is what you do. You get this out there, folks. This is how Tim Ferriss. I mentioned before, I haven't done a feature on him yet. Fraudster. Tell him I said so. Go to Tim Ferriss's ScamTube channel and tell him, Mike Stathis said you're a fraud. He says you're afraid to meet him on a neutral platform. Tell all these motherfuckers, and they'll run like a scared you-know-what that's seen a ghost. Okay? Tim Ferriss, fucking fraud. Once he defrauded people, the 4-hour body, the 4-hour this, the 4-hour that, the 4-hour shit. He figured out, look at this, 27,000 reviews. This launched the whole digital nomad fucking scam, the digital nomad swindle. The 4-hour work week, escape 9 to 5, live anywhere and join the new rich. Okay? Let me show you here. Yeah. 2009. So when the financial crisis hit, okay, this guy was struggling, guaranteed. Don't listen to his bullshit. He was struggling. He decides to come up with something to meet demand. People are struggling with their lives. They're losing their fucking retirement, their jobs, their homes. He comes out with a book. You understand. And by the way, Mr. Ferris belongs to that certain ethnic group of people that we've been talking about that's known for scamming people, defrauding people, and you know who I'm talking about. Okay? FYI. Not that they're the only ones, but there's a very high percentage. So take a look here. And he wants to tell you all this bullshit. When people are desperate, they're going to buy this book and think they can work 4 hours a week. They can live anywhere and they can become rich and work 4 hours a week. Okay. Tim Ferriss paid for fake reviews. Here's how it works, folks. Once you get a cult of people believing something, at some point the reviews become real, but they're delusional. In the beginning, they were fake reviews. Okay. And then what happened is the book was promoted in the whole digital nomad scam community, which is a complete scam movement. I've exposed that movement more than 10 years ago. It's an absolute fraud. It's an absolute scam. I'm not going to get into it now. But you can take a look at the reviews. You can see how many people, it was they only did one review, right? Now, the newer reviews probably are because they're in his cult. He's got a lot of money now. He's got a following. He's got his podcast. So you're going to have people that are going to review it. They like the guy. They've fallen for his shit. Once again, a lot of exposure. Take a look at the 1-star reviews. You want the truth. These are interesting. You want to take a look. You should spend some time reading these 1-star reviews, and it'll be a really good look at this guy. Okay, how disgusting, what a fraud Tim Ferriss is. Complete scam artist piece of trash. Okay, so let's move on with that now. Get back to Henderson. Patrick Bet-David did the same thing. That's one, and of course, I told you all before as well. Another guy who's related to Ferriss and Henderson and Patrick Bet-David and all these other guys. Who? Alex Hormozi. He did the same thing. Okay. It's the new fake guru scam. All these books, he gets someone to write, ghostwrite, and he gets fake reviews. Like he's an expert. All of a sudden, they're business experts. Okay? You understand? I exposed this guy long ago, fake reviews. 3,000 reviews. Okay? He's so great, he's rich, yet he's got this cheap-ass website, look like it costs like $100 to make, and he wants to work with you. What? Just like Patrick Bet-David is doing the same thing. You all know this, right? Patrick Bet-David, they're all successful, yet they're spending all their time on YouTube. Okay, if you're that successful and you got the fucking secret sauce on how to grow a business and make all this money, what are you doing on YouTube? Got it? Doesn't take a fucking genius to figure it out, folks. They're fake gurus. They're frauds. They're liars. These are fake reviews. Oh, reviews. Folks, if you're looking at fucking reviews, if you're assessing something based upon reviews, you're a fucking idiot. The fake review industry is a multi-billion-dollar fucking industry. Fake reviews, fake likes, fake subscribes, fake views. You got it? Let me prove it to you right fucking now. Okay? How to buy reviews. Buying fake Google reviews. Okay, just go through. In fact, TripAdvisor is a company built itself off of fake reviews. Okay? I'm not saying TripAdvisor paid for the reviews. In many cases, the establishments paid for the reviews. And if you go on TripAdvisor, why would they do that? Right? Why would they do that? Why would they not let you publish that? Because TripAdvisor knows the reviews are fake. In fact, some of you don't know this. Let me go ahead and cue you in on this. In many countries in Asia, and Asia is a very large region, right? You're talking about, what? I guess maybe like more than half the world's population. You got China, you got India right there. That's close to 3 billion people right there, right? And in just about all of Asia, as far as I know, I'm not going to say every country, but many countries in Asia, it's standard practice for businesses to get their employees to write in fake reviews. Did you all know that? That's right. It's like that's like everyone knows it. Like it's standard practice. So when you work at a restaurant, like the employees write the fake reviews. It's like they have to do it. Okay. So, anyway, let's get back to him. We talked about Henderson, his bogus bullshit book, which doesn't, the bottom line, he's telling you all these things. Okay, well, tell us how to do it in your book. No, he doesn't tell you anything. He just tells you, I did all this and I beat everything. Yeah, sure you did. Andrew Henderson's a fucking scammer and a fraud. Give me a second here. So you can read that for yourself. Okay. This is the in a newspaper, I guess, Georgia Today, this guy wrote about Henderson. Let me show you something here now. Show you some more. Yeah, here you go. So I recorded this just to give you an idea. This is just one thing. Just to give you an idea, like I said, I know this guy's a scammer. I collect files on people. This is from 2021, 2022. Okay. I've got a lot of other stuff. So this is from his website back then. You can go on Wayback Machine, take a look. So he wants to show you this. I guess she's supposed to be attractive. I guess. Maybe if you're like in Bulgaria, I mean, I don't know, but, obviously, he's trying to get people to give him your email. Let's take a look. You don't want to give this scammer your email. I can tell you that right now. Okay. He's not going to help you keep more of your wealth and do anything. Let me tell you, folks, I know more about living overseas than this scam artist could ever imagine. Remember, I'm a world-class investment expert, investment analyst, okay? And I can tell you right now, this guy doesn't know jack shit, especially when he gives you tax advice, investment. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's an absolute fraud, disinformation, scam artist. And as far as anything he knows on visas, folks, it's freely available online. Just take a look, okay? It's freely available online. He gets the information from when every country, when they publish their new visa requirements, that's where he gets the information from, okay? It's quite simple. A complete bullshit story. He wants to tell you how he was paying a lot of money in taxes. He didn't get a university degree. You see, look at that. Arizona State University, by the way, that's a party school. So he went to a shitty school, and you think he really dropped out? He flunked out. Guaranteed, write it down. He flunked out. Write it down. So what did he do? He's a fuck up. He wants to scam people. And he started his scamming second passport scam business just like Tim Ferriss right after the financial crisis, to take advantage of people who think, oh my God, Look at all that's going on in America. Look at all that's going on in Europe. I want to get out. Okay? These guys are fucking predators. So take a look here. Once again, you can go on the Wayback Machine. Take a look at his website before. This is from 3 years ago or so. I'm sure I've got other stuff saved. This is just what I came up on this laptop, so I didn't do any searching. But take a look at his staff here. He has a honey trap going on. You see, you know a honey trap. You know what a honey trap is, right? Honey trap is where you try and lure people with girls. You see? Take a look. That's what he was pulling before for the longest time. He's kind of trying to, I guess he's trying to scale down off that scam now. Look at his generic pictures on the website. These are fucking stock photos. Here come the girls, I think. Let's see. This is all horseshit, folks. Take it from myself. I've been living around the world for a very long time. And I can tell you, all you got to do is find out the rules and requirements of these countries. It's online. It's readily available. Don't pay anybody a single fucking dime. And if you think that you're going to get better investment opportunities outside the Western world, you better fucking think again. Because I'm telling you right now, that's a goddamn lie. And that's coming from me, Mr. fucking Wall Street, Mr. #1 analyst expert in the world who predicted the financial crisis. Okay, I'm telling you right now, that's a whole other topic of discussion. I'll give you a little inkling of that here shortly, but let me just go ahead and, where's the girls? There's another video, I think. Okay, there's got to be another one that I saved. Let's see here. Well, oh, here we go. This is it. His playbook. You got to get his playbook. Go where you're treated best. Yeah. We have no liberties, no freedoms, right? No rule of law. No insurance in the banks. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, they just got Robert Kiyosaki. What's that tell you? Folks, this is the sheer importance of understanding how to you need to understand who the kingpin con men are. It begins with that. You got to understand that they're con men because they're going to hang together. And once you can learn that, the learning process continues. Then you're going to spot guys you don't know about, but you're going to detect what they're doing. And then you're going to see they're con men. And then you're going to see, oh gosh, he's hanging around with this guy. Yeah, he's a con man. Let's take a look here. I mean, I don't know these guys. I can tell you they're fucking con artists because they're hanging with this guy. It's just it's that simple. There you go. There you see the honey trap. Got Miss Double D here, and he always had this big slew on his website. This big slew of all these girls. That's who worked for him. It looked like hit Charlie's Angels. Look at this. I mean, look at this. Freaking fraud, man. Just go on his Wayback Machine, and you'll see. Okay, the girls he had, like a slew of all these girls from the Eastern Bloc countries. You can tell by looking at them. They're from Georgia and Romania and Slovakia. Take a look. There you go. Right? I mean, notice the poses, right? I mean, like they're Charlie's Angels. Notice, right? Like, I mean, this is not a coincidence that the girls are posing sideways. They want you to see the boobs. Big boobs. Big boobs. I mean, you see that? I mean, how about not a front picture, like a professional? Do these pictures look professional? Or do they look more like they could be on, like, these websites? Find a wife from Bulgaria. Bulgarian dating site, right? See that? I mean, tell me, right? I mean, this is what you call a honey trap. Now, somebody say, well, gosh, these girls aren't really that attractive. But guys, I mean, he's in the Eastern Bloc. He doesn't exactly have a whole lot to, I mean, the super hot girls are going to be taken. They don't need to do these bullshit jobs, right? So, he's getting what he's able to get. There's a couple of cute girls there, This is what you call a honey trap. Everybody got that? I mean, this is the most obvious honey trap I've ever fucking seen. I mean, think about this. It just goes on. I mean, you see that? Notice how he's changed it now on his website? I mean, this is the most damning thing. If you don't understand or believe anything, this seals the fucking deal. This guy's an obvious fucking scammer. Okay? But I've already shown and discussed earlier why this guy's a scammer. Andrew Henderson, you're a fraud. I've known you are a fraud for well over a decade. Okay? Well over a decade. You piece of garbage. Stop swindling people. Stop lying. You're a fraud. You're a scammer. And let me just say something, by the way. For anyone out there who might have been taken by Andrew Henderson, of course, somebody apparently is pretty upset with Andrew Henderson because they actually made a website. I showed this before. Nomad Capitalist Scam. There you go. Is Nomad Capitalist a scam? Yes. I mean, imagine. Oh, it's not letting me go there. Oh, fuck. There's something not right with that. Okay, hold on a second. I never had this before. This is something with a browser. So let me, don't worry, I don't think there's any issue with the site. So I think apparently what happened is that he somehow, okay, here we go. Okay, that's great. I'll take the fucking chance. Just not letting me get there. Yeah, so he's done something to not have this show. So I'm going to go this route and look at it on Wayback Machine. I'm sure there's a way you can get through it. Maybe put on a VPN or something. I have a VPN on. I don't know why it's not working. But it should work. Here you go. So you can just read this and, you can decide for yourself. I already know he's a scam a long time ago. And it just kind of boils down just very, very concisely his whole strategy to swindle money out of you. You see? And, the big sell, the big, if you're watching his YouTube channel, you're already halfway there. He's already got you. Okay? And then you give me an email, it's already 75%. And then if you're going to actually take the time to contact him, then you're in a risky situation because you're going to fall for it. I mean, how do you think people fall for this stuff? The same way they fall for these Nigerian romance scammers, right? These Facebook romance scammers, right? These, you understand. I mean, say, well, I would never fall for that. Well, believe me, there's a reason why the Facebook romance scam pulls billions of dollars every year. Okay, they know what they're doing. You understand? So, Andrew Henderson, this guy's a dangerous swindler wearing a $50 fucking suit. And let me show you some other images here. These images I made a while back. Let's see. Oh, this is the honey trap. You see, so he's basically telling you the swindle here is that you can keep more of your money by moving overseas. Folks, let me tell you something, okay? If you want to do that, first of all, you're not a corporation. You're an individual. You don't have that many options, and it's dangerous and it's risky. Number two, why the fuck would you go to some guy who flunked out of a tier 3 university? Tier 3 means dog shit. Okay? He flunked out of Arizona State University. Why would you go to this guy? A former pool cleaner guy. He cleaned swimming pools. Why would you do that? You're stupid. You're a fucking idiot. That's why you would do it. Wake up and stop being an idiot. Okay? Realize that all this shit on YouTube is fake. It's scams. You're watching this shit because you don't believe it. That's why you're getting sucked up. You don't believe YouTube is a fucking scam. All these channels are scams to some form, to some degree. And say, well, this one's not a scam. It's on its way. It's just like the guy I told you about earlier. The guy who didn't plan on becoming a fake investment guru, but maybe he's going to become one. He's certainly on his way there. You understand? Real, legitimate businesses and people aren't on YouTube. They're scams promoting other scams and scam artists. That's the fact. Write it down. You got to realize that. You got to spread the word. I mean, come on. So he wants to tell you that, oh, well, I can teach you how to save money and taxes. But he has he's no international tax attorney. How does he know this? You understand? You would have to be an international tax attorney, not a tax professional, a tax attorney, first of all, to even have an idea about this. Okay? Second of all, you're not a corporation, folks. I'm telling you right now, you got to understand, if you're going to go to one of these countries that you can pay lower taxes, first of all, do they have a tax treaty with the U.S.? Right? Second of all, what's the safety of their banking system? Do they have something like FDIC insurance? Many of these banks don't have that. You understand? There's so many things. He makes it sound like it's easy, and I'm telling you it's not. He also pitches, oh, yeah, you better investments outside of America. Really? Folks, outside of the Western world, there's not many legitimate investments. I'm telling you, it's fucking scams. And most of the people that are involved with the investment environment in these developing countries, they're with the officials. That's how they're making the money. Most of these countries, the only investments is basically real estate. Okay? Yeah, they have their stock markets, but the stock markets are a fucking joke. Their stock markets are, for most of these countries, are scams. It's a joke. I mean, think about it. Do you really think that you can have a stock market, let's say, in a communist country? Do you think it's legitimate? How is that possible? Do you understand communist countries, the government states that the people own everything? The people own all of the means of production. They own everything. They own all the property. You don't own anything in a communist country. You understand that, right? You understand what a stock market is? A stock market is ownership, private ownership of businesses. That's illegal in a communist country, by the way, which I pointed out many years ago with regards to China. Okay? But you don't have to have a communist country to have a very risky, bogus stock market. If you don't have true rule of law and true democratic principles in a system of democracy, of democratic governance, you're not going to have a legitimate stock market. And that's why just about all these countries outside of the West, outside of an advanced type of system, don't have legitimate stock markets. Okay? The closer they are to a democratic process, a true one, the greater the chance that they have a legitimate stock market. And I'm talking about, credible institutions, checks and balances, rule of law. You understand? Take a look at some of these countries. Do you think they have that in many of these countries in Latin America? If you think so, you haven't been there. Do you think they have that in many of these countries in Africa? If you think so, you haven't been there. Do you think they have that in many of these countries in Asia? If you think so, you haven't been there. Okay? So anyone that wants to tell you that you have better investment opportunities outside of the Western world is just either ignorant or they're a scam artist, because it's just simply not true. And that's why, for instance, the U.S. capital markets are the most robust, most transparent, the most vibrant, the best in the world, because you have money from all institutions around the world pouring into U.S. assets. Why do you think the U.S. government is able to have this enormous debt of, 33 trillion or so? What is it? I don't know. Why? Why do you think so? That's demand for U.S. treasuries. That's demand for the U.S. dollar. Why? Because you have the U.S. economy, the U.S. military, the U.S. innovative machine. You understand that? Anybody that tells you all this doom and gloom bullshit is a fucking fraud. I'm telling you right now. Now, anybody that knows me knows I'm not high on America. Okay? I'm pretty anti-American for many reasons. But I'm not a one-sided Charlie. I'm not a delusional fucking con artist. I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. Okay? And when it comes to comparing America in terms of those aspects to other countries, there's no fucking comparison. That's a fact. But you see, the whole movement is America's bad, dollar's no good, economy this, buy gold, get out of the stock market. That's the gold pumping scene. That's the guy that Henderson belongs to, the conspiracy wackos. Alex Jones is part of that. Peter Schiff, Doug Casey, Patrick Bet-David, all these guys. You understand? Robert Kiyosaki, people that want to get you out of the way of doing well. They want to keep you out of college. They want to tell you that education's a scam. They want to tell you the stock market's a scam. They want to tell you having a job is a scam. They want to tell you having a 401k is a scam. You know why? They don't want you to succeed. They want you to get desperate and come to them and pay them money for their educational horseshit. All these guys. That's the way they operate. It's pretty easy to see. It should be now that I've uncovered the whole fucking scam. Think about it. I've been covering this shit for almost 2 decades, folks. Okay? I know this shit better than anybody. If you understand the big picture, you're going to spot these guys and what they're doing, why they're doing it, and who they're kind of catering to. Take a look. You can read this for yourself. So, once again, he wants to show you his media appearances. Why? Notice he put Zero Hedge there. Zero Hedge is a fucking boiler room scam. I mean, this is a complete fraudulent fucking blog. Complete horseshit. 1 billion%. At least, these real, this is a blog. It's not even real fucking media. At least these media firms, MarketWatch is pretty close to Zero Hedge, to be honest. Money and Forbes aren't too far away either, but at least CNN, Bloomberg, BBC, at least they provide, Washington Post, at least they provide some value in some things. But when you're talking about Zero Hedge, it's 100% horseshit. 100% fucking horseshit. And their whole stance is the same as well. Stock market's bad, buy gold. Right? Because, they're Russian shills, by the way. They promote pro-Russian propaganda. So you can just read here what I've written in this annotated image. I have probably about 8,000 annotated images like this on my encyclopedia, on my site that's restricted to members. And I have probably another 8,000 to 10,000 more I have not yet uploaded yet on all these guys and everything, where I explain, one image, the same, a picture says 1,000 words, right? So let me just read what I've written here. Second citizenships are very, and when I write this, I just go on basically Microsoft Paint and just type it out. So there could be some typos here. But second citizenships are very costly, and usually you can only get citizenship in a banana republic / island nation, which is essentially useless unless you're very wealthy. So in other words, you can't really get a second citizenship unless it's kind of a banana republic or like an island nation. Why do I say that's useless? Well, think about it. And by the way, you can get one right now. Okay, you pay, buy a property in St. Martin for $250 or whatever it is. I don't know what it is now. You can buy a house there, $400,000 or whatever. Okay, you're a citizen. The reason why is it useless? But you don't need to go through this Andrew fraud to know this. And there's a few other places as well. Here's the problem. Problem is that unless it's a real country, think about the U.S. or any other powerful Western country can come out anytime and say, hey, you know what? Stop this. You got too many criminals getting citizenship there. You're going to have to stop this. And those nation islands they're going to do whatever the U.S. says. Okay. In addition, what good is it being a citizen of some fucking island, some little nation island? It gets you nothing. And let me show you one other thing here. Let me go ahead and read this. Well, no, I'm going to actually show you before I forget. This article, this is what's dangerous. So he probably paid them from Bloomberg to write an article in 2017 quoting his passport rating system. So think about this. You've got Scamberg writing an article. This tells you Scamberg has no fucking credibility. Scamberg also promoted Martin Armstrong, the fraud. Scamberg, and think about this. Why would they give him this promo? Remember, I'm a guy, arguably the top investment analyst in the world. Track record's there. Okay? I'm banned. You're not going to hear anybody interviewing me. Anything I have to say. And they're promoting some fucking guy that flunked out of a shitty school. He flunked out of college. And he's pitching horse shit. He's pitching snake oil. Why would they even write this horse shit? Give him this exposure? It's clearly not legitimate, right? So ask yourself why? Because he paid somebody and he knows somebody. You can't just pay somebody, like in the mob. You can't just, you got to know somebody in the mob. You understand? So take a look here, as I wrote. A firm as some established ratings company, right? Look at this, right? What firm? Research this kid and you will see he's a joke. Where are his credentials? He calls himself a tax advisor. So does he hold a CPA in various nations since he markets himself to provide international tax advice? You got it? He's a fraud. How can he call himself a tax advisor? He doesn't even have an undergraduate degree in fucking basket weaving. And he's promoting, he claims to provide international tax advice? The guy's a fraud. Okay? Now you can see how credible Bloomberg is. So take a look. He's saying the most desirable passports on earth don't include America's. Now you've probably heard some of this horse shit before. Okay? Let me explain something to you people who don't understand. Now, take a step back. For those of you who don't know me, best thing you can do in your whole fucking life is get to know my fucking credibility and credentials and track record. Then you'll say, whoa, holy shit, this guy uncovers a lot of stuff. I'm going to believe everything he says until I can prove otherwise, because he's fucking right on just about everything. When it comes to exposing the frauds, I'm 100% correct. Okay? Now, I can't tell you I'm going to be 100% correct forecasting the markets. I'm only going to be 80 to 90% there. When it comes to exposing the easy shit, it's obvious. It's clear. Okay? So, the best passports. America's not in the top. Let me explain something to you people, okay? Remember, I'm the guy that lives around the world. The strongest passport, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what he says. I don't care what anyone says. The strongest fucking passport is the U.S. passport. Okay? Do you know that many countries give preference to the U.S.? Some countries give the U.S. very long tourist visas. It's very common. Okay? America is the only country. Do you know that in Thailand, a good example, Thailand, Americans are the only people, only foreigners that can make a business in Thailand and own it 100%. All other foreigners have to have 51% Thai ownership. And that's a big fucking deal with all the scams going on in Thailand, believe me. Only Americans with a U.S. passport in Thailand can you have a business owned 100%. Okay? That's pretty fucking, that says something about the U.S. passport. That's just one example. Okay? So, I'm telling you right now, the U.S. passport is the strongest passport to have in the world. I don't care how many countries it gets you. Oh, it doesn't get you into every country like this. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't want to get into some fucking shithole. Okay? I'm fine. I can go to Europe for 3 months, no fucking visa. I can go to Japan for 3 months. I think it is no visa. I can do a lot of things. You get exceptional treatment if you have a U.S. passport. Okay? Many countries you can stay for a year without any type of special visa if you have a U.S. passport. Okay? You can't do it with any other passport. Only a U.S. passport. I think Albania is one of those. Visa laws change all the time, so I don't know. But I think Albania was one of those. Prior to COVID, you could stay in Vietnam for 1 year. Americans were the only ones who had a 1-year tourist visa in Vietnam. Everybody else can only do 3 months. Okay? So anyone that tells you that the U.S. doesn't have, easily the top 2 or 3 strongest passports, I think it's the strongest. They're just fucking stupid. They're a con artist. They're trying to sell you bullshit. Okay? These are the same people that are telling you to stay out of the U.S. stock market, to buy gold. Okay? I'm speaking facts, folks. And I can guarantee none of you all knew this stuff. Okay? I know this stuff because I live it. And what do we have here? Yeah, so let's continue reading here. So the really wealthy people go through experienced attorneys, not some unqualified kid. This kid is a complete huckster who misrepresents himself and sells the idea of things that are largely unattainable in order to extract ridiculous fees from naive chumps. And I'm pointing here to this. Okay, he makes it sound like, oh, you can get a second. Folks, if you want a second residency, you can get it. It's easy in many cases. All you got to do is know how to do it. Some cases a little more difficult. Okay, they're releasing new stuff all the time everywhere. Thailand just released a long-term visa now. It's pretty simple to get for most people anyway. For 10 years, 5 years renewable. Okay, you don't need to deposit any money. There's 3 ways to get it. If you show $80,000 passive income per year, you get it. That's just one example. Okay, the Malaysia Second Home Program, the Portugal Golden Visa, Greece as well. There's a few other countries as well, right? Some countries you don't need shit. Don't waste your money on these people that are fucking predators. And I also have this scammer type of genre. I'm a relocation expert. What relocation? What the fuck? What are you talking about? If you're going to fucking move somewhere, folks, you don't go and pay some fucking guy to help you. Okay? If you need that, you're not going to survive wherever you're going. You got it? Number 1. Number 2, it's part of the adventure of learning things on your own. I never paid anybody. If you have to pay someone, if you feel the need to pay someone to help you relocate, you're mentally weak. You're mentally weak and you're not going to make it. Stay home. I'm trying to help you. I'm giving you common sense advice. Because guess what? These countries outside of your home country, if you're talking about advanced country to developing country, you're talking about crazy shit that happens. If you need to pay some fucking con artist to help you relocate, to give you information on where to go and where to stay and this and whatever, you're not going to make it. Because these countries, a lot of shit can happen. Believe me, I'm not even going to get into that. Okay. You don't have the types of protections that you have in the advanced world in these other countries. So stay home. If you feel the need to pay some scammer to help you relocate. So I write here, none of these steps are easy, and I could argue are closer to impossible for the audience he is targeting, the typical person. Okay? Henderson added this segment after the Three Stooges of Gold, and I'm pointing here, move your business and your money offshore to reduce taxes and grow your business faster. This includes tax planning and offshore banking, companies, and merchant accounts. Henderson added this segment after the Three Stooges of Gold pumping doom and fear, mongering disinformation, parentheses, Peter Schiff, Doug Casey, and Mike Maloney started pumping Puerto Rico as a place to relocate. Not long afterwards, Puerto Rico was bankrupt. There you have it. Same thing with Doug Casey. 15 years ago, this fraud was telling everybody back in 2010 to get out of America, escape the coming disaster, move to Argentina. Oh, and by the way, he's got a real estate project. He can sell you houses there. And guess what? It was a disaster, overpriced real estate. They didn't own the people that bought the property, did not own the fucking water rights underneath the ground. They couldn't get water. And then guess what happened? Argentina has defaulted 4 or 5 times on their debt. They have hyperinflation since that time. You understand what I'm saying, folks? These guys are all frauds and con artists. Think about this. Why are they all targeting people in advanced countries? Are you kidding me? Have you seen the fucking news lately? You've got millions of people flooding into these Western countries. They've tried to get out of their hellholes. They want to get into America. They want to get into Europe. Are you kidding me? Don't be stupid, people. Okay. Take the money you save and invest overseas to earn higher returns than at home. This includes real estate, stocks, venture capital, precious metals, and global markets. This is false, as I state here. This is a completely false statement unless he's speaking to individuals in the third/developing world who could earn more by investing in the advanced world markets. But his entire pitch is catered to individuals living in the advanced world, mainly US, Canada, and advanced Europe. So it's complete bullshit. If you don't understand why it's bullshit, you have much to learn. But you aren't going to learn anything other than disinfo from this charlatan. So he's telling you, basically, if you're from the advanced world, you can earn more money. You can save more money. Take the money you save and invest overseas. So you say you can earn more money overseas and get higher returns than in America, than Canada, than Europe. And this includes real estate, stocks, venture capital, precious metals, and global markets. This is a complete lie. It's fraud is what it is. This is a 1,000,000% lie. It's fraud. First of all, they don't even fucking have venture capital in these countries he's wanting you to move to. It doesn't fucking exist. Number one. Number two, I already told you about the stock markets, folks. Okay? I already told you about real estate. Want to make money in real estate in many of these countries? You better know the officials. Okay? That's the way to do it. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen in many of these countries? You, the gringo, you, the falang, you, the foreigner, you bought real estate in Chile, in Argentina, in Thailand, in Vietnam, in China, in some of these other countries, let's just say, just as some examples. Guess what can happen? Some official comes over and finds out you're a foreigner and says, oh, well, we're sorry, but the person that sold you this unit, they went over the quota, the foreign quota. We can only have a certain percentage of foreigners that own units in this building. And that's how many of these countries behave, by the way. There's a cap. Therefore, we have to take your property. That's it. Sorry. It's done. That's, I'm not even going over the most common scenarios. Depending upon the country, some of these they're so corrupt, you can have the real estate taken from you and have no recourse. Okay? If you're a foreigner in many of these countries, you are targeted. You are targeted. I'm telling you. Okay? I'm telling you. So he's telling you the opposite. It's a complete fucking fraud, this guy is. Complete piece of shit scam artist. Okay, so it's going to be a long stream here. Let's talk about Patrick Bet David now. Patrick Bet David. Let's see what we got here. We'll go ahead and start with the handouts. So here's his website, Patrick Bet David. Look, so here's a guy that he's a thug, right? He's an uneducated thug. He's a liar. He's a con man. And he lies about everything. Write it the fuck down. And by the way, I exposed this piece of garbage on my website a few years ago. And I know for a fact he came running to my website to read the article. Okay? He never said shit, though. Why? Hey, Patrick, and by the way, Patrick Bet David's not even his real fucking name. He's hiding. He's hiding. He doesn't want you to know from his real name who he represents. Wink, wink. But he made the mistake of using a first name as a last name, which is a giveaway as to a particular ethnic group. Just gave you another little tidbit there. Okay. But take a look. There's a guy, he's telling you he's so successful. He's a business strategist. Yet he can barely put fucking two words together, right? He talks like a fucking gangster off the street. Why? Because he's an uneducated fucking thug. And here's a guy, nonetheless, he wants to tell you he's a business Goliath. He's a guru. Look, he wrote a book. He wrote many books. They all have a lot of good reviews, right? He's worth a lot of money. Look at my house. He showed his video of this is like this stupid house. I remember I saw it and I was like, dude, this is like the cheapest ass looking house I've ever seen. It's so fucking shit quality. But by the way, this bullshit house that he claims to own, he bought that with a loan from his PHP multi-level marketing company. It's a business purchase. You see? He lies about his net worth. He didn't sell his company. His company's not worth $200 million. He didn't sell it for $200 million. It's the Alex Hormozi bullshit. Okay? It's all lies. This guy, everything he says, divided by 1,000. And in some cases, nullify it. Okay? But think about it. He's pitching this idea. He's successful. He's a high-level guy. He made all this money. You know, he has 44,000 insurance agents. They're all licensed. No, he doesn't. It's a lie. Another fucking lie. Yet, he wants to give you private mentoring. He wants to come on YouTube and offer you, mama's boy, you're 16. Okay, he'll do it. Why? Because he doesn't have a pot to fucking piss in. You understand? He's making his money off YouTube. You all understand that, right? Do you realize that? He's taking the cash flow from his multi-level marketing company, where he is exploiting people, by the way. He's exploiting minorities in America who barely speak English. He's luring them into his fucking PHP bullshit. He's exploiting them. He's taking the cash flow and he's reinvesting it into PR. That's how he built his YouTube channel. That's why he built his YouTube channel. He got these interviews, Kobe Bryant, Mark Cuban, Joe Rogan. He paid them. He paid them to be on his show. He paid Joe Rogan to be on his show. This is fact. Write it the fuck down. This is what all these guys do. You all understand this? It's a big circle jerk. You don't fucking get it. I explained it before. I already told you about Ty Lopez. Ty Lopez paid Mark Cuban. Because they're thinking, well, it gives me credibility. This is why I'm saying, folks, if you understand who the scammers are, you would have realized Mark Cuban is not credible. He's a fucking scammer. You understand that, right? Got it? Tony Robbins is the same thing. Multi-level marketing works in this manner. This is one of the strategies that multi-level marketing operates in. They want to get somebody who's going to, first of all, they can create a network. I'll interview you, you interview me. right? You shared with me your cult members so I can sell them my shit. I'll share with you my cult members so you can sell them your shit. The syndicate approach, right? Also, they pay people to get exposure, whatever they can do. Tony Robbins has been doing this for decades because people are stupid. They don't look at the substance of what someone offers because they're too stupid. The same reason why people fall for fake reviews and fake likes and fake views. Oh, it's got a lot of views. It must be good. Oh, good reviews. Must be good. Oh, Mark Cuban talked to him. He must be valid. Wait a second. Why can't you assess what's coming out of this guy's mouth and you determine if he's valid? You understand what I'm saying, folks? Okay? So, Patrick Bet-David, as successful as he is, he wants to offer you private tutoring, private mentoring, monthly mastermind. And I've mentioned anyone that says mastermind, they're a fucking scammer. Mastermind. No, you're not a mastermind. You don't even have a fucking undergraduate degree in college. You're a fucking scammer. Elite mastermind. In other words, an excuse to charge you an insane amount of money. You see? Let's take another look here. What else do we have on Patrick Bet-David? Well, let's take a look at the So, and, he's also got publicity. And here's what happens, by the way. So you take a look at Microsoft. So you have these syndicate publications that are really fucking shit, and they buy spots on Yahoo Finance, Microsoft, you name it. The richest. Does that sound credible to you? People don't look at that. They just, it's on Microsoft. It's basically Microsoft is renting out their space as an advertisement to allow this bullshit. So he paid this company to give him promo. Robert Kiyosaki, all these frauds, they all do the same. It's the same thing, folks. Okay. So telling you how he made his money. Take a look and see. Look what pops out. More Patrick Bet-David. Right. So now let's see this. So, do they have anything controversial? No. Makes it look like he's really successful, right? Really valid, right? Complete fucking horseshit. Remember, this is the guy that followed the whole gravy train of James Altucher. Remember the crypto scammer from thestreet.com I talked about, who may have been one of the first people to tell you that college is a scam. Robert Kiyosaki tells you college is a scam. This guy falls into it. All these scammers, if you notice, all the scammers are telling you college is a scam. Why? Because they don't want you to empower yourself, to develop your mind, to get critical thinking skills, to learn a useful skill or trade or something that you can actually apply to do better in your life, to get a good career. They want you instead to think that they're going to give you an education. And you can pay, they'll gladly take your $50,000 for their education, right? They're absolute frauds. And it's shocking that anybody would fall for this obvious scam. Let's take a look. This is his website here. Let's see what he's got going on now. I mean, I mean, he's got cartoons. He's got fucking cartoon people. I mean, because there's nobody there. It's just him. I mean, what a fucking scam website. Total fucking scam. But you saw, let me show you what else I have here. The vault. I've got the vault. Where's the vault? Here we go. Yeah, so this is another thing he does. He holds these conferences. The Vault Conference. Oh, look. 2024. Every year he's got it. Let's see. Get tickets. Okay. oh, I want to go for the $16,000. So here's the pitch. They want to give you the highest ones, like, oh, God, wow, they're sold out. They're high in demand. Gosh, wow. Look, but I'll get a small one. It's only $850. You understand? These were not sold out. It's a scam. They want to make it look like they have people that are in demand. This guy's an obvious fucking scam artist. Patrick Bet-David. My name is Mike Stathis. You have a lot of people on your show. How about let's you and I go on a neutral platform and let's talk, boy. Let's talk, guy. Okay? Let's go. You won't do it because you're a chicken shit, just like all these motherfuckers I expose. All of them. I'm the big swinging dick. Nobody will go up against me on a neutral platform because I'm the fucking truth. I'm the truth. I'm not butt off, and I'm fucking sharp. Though that's the three deadly variables for you guys. You don't like that. Okay. So who does he have there? I'm sure it's all con men. Mike Tyson. This guy's for hire for anybody that's going to pay a few bucks. You can have him. Let's see. So he's basically trying to run a Tony Robbins type of scam. Okay. Look, Tom Brady, America's biggest scam artist, Mr. fucking FTX, right? This guy's, I mean, can you imagine how bad Tom Brady has fucked his legacy up? Here's a guy who was very successful in the NFL, and he had unprecedented success. But was that enough for him? No. He needed more money, more and more. And now he's got the nerve to line himself up with this scam artist, Patrick Bet-David. He's empowering Patrick Bet-David. You understand? Tom Brady's a scumbag, a piece of fucking trash. And he's a facilitator to scam artists. That's right. I mean, you know, Mike Tyson, give the guy a break. I mean, he's got so much fucking brain damage from all the boxing and all the drugs that, you know, he doesn't know what's going on. Right? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, this tells you, I mean, what is this nonsense? This is the master class? Master class of what? Being a fucking airhead? Showing us how to do steroids? I mean, I'm kind of disappointed he doesn't have Robert Kiyosaki and Peter Schiff and Doug Casey and Lex Friedman and Joe Rogan. I mean, come on. You got to have these kingpin cons. See, so who's going to go to this, folks? People that are this. You're talking just, you know, complete Main Street. Oh, Mike Tyson. You know, Tom Brady. Dwayne Johnson. Right? They're going to go for that celebrity thing, and they're going to get swindled. They're going to get hook, line, and sinker into being swindled. That's the sad thing. So let's take a look now. So Patrick Bet-David has been doing he's been working hard at trying to show you over the past few years that he's an expert. He wants to tell you China's problem. Think about this for a second. You've got a multi-level marketing con man, complete fucking scam artist, uneducated, not only uneducated, this guy can't even pull off sounding intelligent. He can't even pull that off. I mean, let's be honest here. He sounds like a street thug. But he's the expert now. And I take offense at this as one of the top authorities of analyzing China and China's economy. I've been following it for nearly 20 years, and I have a great track record of predicting the highs and the lows, including this most recent collapse a few years ago. I take offense at this fucking clown trying to pretend like he's some expert in China. But of course, you know, he only comes out May 2023 after the obvious, after reading articles and watching the CNBC and horseshit, right? So he wants to tell you China's catastrophic mistake to destroy their superpower aspirations. What does he know? He doesn't know anything. It's just like Graham Stephan and Andre Jick and all these other consumer finance fraudsters coming out and acting like they're some authority. And of course, we have scam artist Joe Rogan, who once again, he sells supplements. Anybody selling supplements is a fucking scammer. Write it down. Write it down. Remember, the scammers like to talk about wild conspiracies and, of course, nutritional supplements. There's kind of like some conspiracies going on, not to mention false claims, right? Ask yourself why the biggest scammers out there are always selling nutritional supplements, from Alex Jones to Joe Rogan to Mike Adams to, what's his name? I forgot the other guy's name. Many of these guys. Joe Rogan is the kingpin promoter of scam artists. The kingpin promoter of scam artists. He has promoted a lot of scam artists. He controls one of the big circle jerks of scammers. Anybody who he interviews, write it down. They're a scammer. Write it down. They are not credible. Zero credibility. Write it down. Okay? And I've talked about this before. The Joe Rogan circle jerk, Elon Musk circle. There's a big overlap there. Kathy Wood is in kind of an overlap. I'm waiting to see when Kathy Wood's on Joe Rogan. I don't know. I don't watch Joe Rogan. Maybe she's been on there. I doubt it. I don't think that's where his little thing goes. But I think eventually she'll be in that circle, because she's already in the Elon Musk circle jerk, right? So you all see what I'm saying. Patrick Bet-David is in that whole circle jerk now. So Patrick Bet-David originally got into Joe Rogan. He paid Joe Rogan. He got in with Mike Tyson. He paid off Tyson. Then I think maybe Tyson got him in with Rogan, and he paid off Rogan. And then finally he made his way with Elon Musk through X. You all understand? This is what's going on. Okay? And yeah, so Patrick Bet-David not only is a right-leaning scammer, right? He's also made his way into the left-leaning scammers. He paid this boy, David Pakman, and you can take a look at the name. Kind of tells you, who, what group he's supportive of. He's a liberal, a very left-leaning liberal. Hero boy. He's a social justice warrior. Okay. And think about it. This is not who Patrick Bet-David. You wouldn't think he'd have him on there, but it doesn't end with this guy. He also had Sam Setter, another fucking clown of the same tribe, left-leaning clown. So he had and also he had Bill Maher. Why would he do that? He wants to expand his reach to as many people as possible, folks. Patrick Bet-David does. He wants to lure in as many people as possible. He's paid every single one. Write it the motherfuck down. Write it the fuck down now. Guaranteed 100%. Confront Patrick Bet-David. Confront Joe Rogan. Confront these motherfuckers. Patrick Bet-David paid David Pakman, Sam Setter, Bill Maher to appear on an interview. And then he appeared on Bill Maher's show. Remember? I scratch your back, you scratch my back. He paid Mark Cuban, Patrick Bet-David. He paid Joe Rogan. Write this down. Confront him. This is all fact. Folks, these people are paying and being paid. I talked about this before. Graham Stephan, the little guy, he's being paid by all these scammers to have him on his show. And you all don't realize this. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you all are seeing what's going on. I mean, these circle jerks keep extending and extending. Okay? I never would have thought Andrew Henderson would have made it into Patrick Bet-David's circle jerk. You see? So Patrick Bet-David, think about what this means. He's brought in Andrew Henderson. Okay? Right? Think about this for a second. Patrick Bet-David has bought his way into the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk circle jerk. That means Andrew Henderson is there. He's there. You understand? You understand the danger and why Joe Rogan is such a dirty, disgusting, scamming piece of trash? And Elon Musk is in the same realm, by the way. Elon Musk is only honest about things that make him money. He's a very one-sided person. Okay? He's not, folks, birds of a feather always hang together. Remember that. Okay? Birds of a feather always hang together. It's a rule you can live by. It's never failed me. Okay? These scammers are hanging out. Why? Okay, why is that? All right, that's all I've got, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. And spread the word. And make your own channels. This channel won't be here. It'll be gone eventually. Guarantee you that. So I hope you guys do something. Hopefully it inspired you guys and teaching you guys to teach other people about these fucking frauds. One voice doesn't do it, folks. It takes thousands of voices out there. These people are destroying lives. They're money-worshipping scumbags who don't care who they hurt. They're pathological. They're sociopaths. They don't give a shit who they're hurting. They are money worshippers. There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with their brains, with their minds. They don't care who they hurt. They just want to collect as much money as possible. Of course, you got this Brett Weinstein. He's also in the Joe Rogan circle jerk of disinformation. Remember? Just go through and you can see, folks. I'm telling you. Just go through, spend some time. And the more time you spend on this stuff, watch my videos. Watch the video I did on the internet of the dark web of internet marketing scams. Go through, learn this shit, and start observing, and you're going to see it. I'm telling you. And the more you learn, the more you're able to spot and pick up on these people, the better you're going to get. Start with the most obvious guys: Robert Kiyosaki, Patrick Bet-David, so on and so forth. And before you know it, you're going to run across a guy and instantly tell he's a scammer, just because you're going to know the traits that they exhibit, the typical things that they do. Okay, that's it, folks. Have a good day.